Le sport inspire, rassemble, fédère. C'est un outil pour se construire, un investissement pour l'avenir. Le sport traverse les frontières. Sur le terrain, sur la piste de course, dans l'eau, il change des vies et des sociétés. Le sport, c'est aussi une économie, un moteur de développement qui crée des emplois, soutient l'entrepreneuriat local et dynamise les territoires. À l'échelle mondiale, il représente plus de 2% du PIB. En Afrique, seulement 0,5%. Le potentiel est immense. 2017. À Ouagadougou, la France et l'Afrique posent les bases d'une relation renouvelée en faveur notamment de la jeunesse. 2020. Lors du sommet Finance en commun, banques publiques et mouvements sportifs se mobilisent. Sport en commun est lancé, une plateforme panafricaine reliant porteurs de projets et financeurs. 2021. Au nouveau sommet Afrique-France, un programme phare est annoncé avec des fédérations sportives d'Afrique, tandis qu'un autre soutiendra 30 académies sportives. 2024, en préouverture des Jeux Olympiques et Paralympiques de Paris 2024, chefs d'État, de gouvernement et d'organisations internationales adoptent l'accord de Paris pour le sport et le développement durable, tandis que la coalition sport du mouvement Finance en commun s'engage à investir 10 milliards d'euros dans le secteur d'ici 2030. 2026, au sommet Africa Forward de Nairobi, le sport se positionne comme un secteur d'investissement et d'opportunités pour la jeunesse. Puis, avec les Jeux Olympiques de la jeunesse à Dakar, un cap historique est franchi. Pour la première fois, un événement olympique se tient sur le sol africain. Depuis 2018, la France, via le groupe AFD, a engagé 500 millions d'euros en faveur du sport au service du développement durable. États, entreprises, sociétés civiles, organisations internationales et mouvements sportifs, ensemble, faisons du sport un investissement durable pour les générations futures.
Well, what better way to start than by welcoming two African sports legends? Fantastic. Well, guys, look who's just joined us. We have Eliud Kipchoge, double Olympic marathon champion and former world record champion. And also we have a fantastic African woman champion as well, Perez Jepchirchir, Olympic marathon champion and world champion. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's such an honor. You really, really make our continent proud. So ladies first, I'm going to go to you, Perez, because I'm going to start with you and ask you a question. So you have really carried the Kenyan flag on the biggest stage around the world. You are such an inspiration, including for young women. So what message do you have today for all the young people who are watching us?
My name is Patrice Jepchirchir, Hoji W. And I'm deeply honored to stand before you today as a Kenyan athlete, Olympic champion, and world champion 2 times half marathon, and proud to represent to the power of sport to transform lives, inspire hopes, and unite people across the world. Representing Kenya to the global stage, including winning Olympic gold and major international marathon, has taught me the value of discipline, resilience, hard work, and belief in one's dream. Sport is more than a completion, believing in one dream. Sport is more than a completion or medal. It's power tool for unite, opportunities, youth empowerment, includes, and social information. And Africa, I speak to you with love, faith, and...
So we've got resilience, we've got tenacity, thank you so much, and a beautiful smile as well. Let's go to you, Eliud, now, because Perez mentioned, resilience and never giving up. And one of your mantras is no human is limited. So can you tell us about what sports does for, discipline and resilience?
When I was asked actually to speak about discipline and resilience, I smiled knowing these two qualities truly define my life and my career in athletics. You are probably familiar with my philosophy that only the disciplined ones are free in life. To be a little bit more specific, self-discipline has been my driver for the last 23 years, dating back to that evening in 2003 World Championships in Paris, where I became the youngest world champion, to then becoming a double champion and breaking multiple world records. But most importantly, running the marathon in under 2 hours, inspiring the world to push limits. I am delighted that 7 years since that audacious in your 159 challenge in Vienna, 2 athletes were able to go under 2 hours in race conditions.
I want you now to do something with me. Come to the front, please, both of you. We are going to kickstart this meeting, all right? So 1, 2, 3, and we'll say Africa forward. Can we do that? 1, 2, 3, Africa forwards. All right, thank you so much for your contributions today. I'm really sorry you have to speed up, but thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention as well. Fantastic, fantastic start to, with 2 champions right here. So let's now proceed to see how we can turn those big sports dreams into real concrete potential for our youth. So let's now welcome a few game changers for our next panel. And we have Géraldine Robert. She's a former elite basketball player and special advisor to the presidency of Gabon. Please, Géraldine, join us. Round of applause, please. Let's also welcome Humphrey Kayanje, IOC member and the legendary face of Kenyan rugby. Finally, we are with Régis Charpentier, president of Win-Win Africa, key development of Agora. Thank you very, very much. You have 3 minutes each. I want to say we are talking about sports, and this is quite a competition today. So there we go. And I'll start with you, actually, Humphrey, first. Let's dive right in. How is IOC's vision for sustainable development actually translating into real opportunities for African athletes and their communities today?
Thank you very much, and I know we're pressed for time. So at the IOC, we've been able to see many initiatives around sport that support and grow sport across Africa. Thousands of young people across Africa have leveraged from IOC's programs in education, in skill development, in shaping the future, and we can see a real tangible effect that sport does work, and this even research has backed that every investment that goes into sport has able to generate 5 to 6 times the value in terms of social impact.
Thank you so much. So let me move to you, Géraldine, because you're really living proof of what can be achieved with football. So we can't rely on luck anymore. So coming from you now as your role, forging public policy, how do we move from isolated wins to creating a real system that fosters talent every single time?
Thank you. All protocol observed. Africa is at a decisive turning point right now. And sport is no longer about only competition. It's becoming a powerful driver of economic, social, and educational transformation. Allow me to begin with a personal story. I did not pursue a career in basketball in Europe because I was the most talented. It's just because I had people who believed in me. First of all, my parents, who really helped me achieve my dream. And also, and one very important point, I'm French and Gabonese. So my parents sent me to Europe very early. And I know it's not the case with a lot of talented African sports people. And duality in sport in Africa is there. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of ambition, but the problem is only because of the factor chance. There's no really great system put aside to help them achieve their goal. So right now in Gabon, under the great leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Gabon, Mr. Brice Clotaire Oligui, the transition is on its way. So we're doing a lot of things in sport, and we are working to better structure federation, develop academies, and into a broader vision that connects education, culture, and the economy.
Thank you so much, Géraldine, and that's exactly what Agora is also aiming to do. So I'm sorry, Régis, we're going to be sharing everything here. Let me come closer to you. So tell us about how Agora actually builds all these young sportsmen from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a simple image. It's a late afternoon in Abidjan, and a group of young girls is playing football when students are having their sports class, family are gathering around, having a drink at the Maquis, and Donald has just finished his medical checkup at the infirmary when Marceline is entering the meeting room where she will be trained in new techniques, business techniques. In the same time, the staff are preparing the stage for tomorrow's concert which will be attended by more than 5,000 people, free of charge, thanks to our many sponsors. Finally, just like every day, a lorry leaves with a ton of plastic that has been collected and recycled on site. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a sports complex. This is Agora. Yeah. Agora was born from a simple idea that it can create opportunities, it can boost communities, it can change life. At the heart of the Agora project, we wanted to build accessible spaces, animate them with strong content, and ensure that they last through economic model.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have to leave it there. So let's go to Abidjan. We can eat in a maki, we can do some sports, and we can go to a concert, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got the invitation. Thank you so much, Régis, Géraldine, and Humphrey as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Big round of applause. Like I said, today we're talking about sport, and this is very sporty. I'm so glad that we have athletes with us here today. So we've talked about the vision, we've talked about the ambitions. Let's now talk about the business of sports with our next panelists. Let's welcome now Faris AYOUB, head of Helios Sports and Entertainment Group, Clare, AKAMANZI CEO of NBA Africa, and Olivier GINON, chairman of GL Events Sportsmanship. We are sharing everything today. And I want to start with you, Faris, please. Take to turn sport and entertainment in Africa into a scalable economic sector. And maybe you can tell us what's happened in the 2 years in Paris since the Sports Sustainable Development Summit.
Yeah, so 2 years ago in Paris, we spoke about investing in sports and entertainment across Africa, not only as a social priority, but as a real economic sector. Today, that commitment is no longer a statement of intent. It is becoming real platforms and assets and projects on the ground, supported by the AFD Group, via Proparco, alongside the IFC and the Rwanda Social Security Board and other investors. At Helios Sports and Entertainment, we see sports as part of a broader ecosystem, where sport, music, live music, media, youth culture all come together across Africa. What has been missing is the infrastructure and commercial platform that turn the demand into a sustainable industry, and this is where we focus.
So can you give us like a few concrete examples, actually, just so that we can picture exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you can see it across our portfolio. In basketball, where I'm sure Claire will just touch upon, through the NBA ecosystem in Africa, we are seeing growing attendance, viewership, and pathways, as well as youth empowerment programs. In MMA, with the PFL, we are helping professionals throughout the continent reach their targets. And in music, the events such as the Afro Nation bring together music, platform not only in the continent, but the diaspora. But critically, in infrastructure, through our investment in Zaire Group, where, for example, in Rwanda, Zaire Group brings together venues and hospitalities engagement. And then this is important here in Nairobi, where Zaire Group recently signed an agreement with the support of His Excellency, the President William Ruto, to help to redevelop Nairobi Railway City through a new multi-purpose arena and integrated entertainment.
Thank you so much, Faris. Let me move to you now, Claire, because you are the blueprint at NBA Africa of exactly what Faris just mentioned. So how is basketball proving that sport can be a massive engine for jobs and visibility? And as BAL scales, what does this franchise-based model can actually unlock in Africa?
Thank you, Anne-Marie. First of all, thank you, everyone here. I understand everyone here loves basketball and loves the NBA. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
We love you too. Now, I'll say three things. At the NBA, we have a fundamental belief that beyond basketball, We are an ecosystem of economic growth and opportunity on the continent. Beyond the court where we play basketball, we actually are a fundamental pillar for economic growth. And let me tell you 3 quick things of what we're seeing. One, we are seeing real momentum as NBA on the continent. We've been here for a number of years. Today, we contribute to jobs and we contribute to an economic ecosystem. In the first 4 years of BAL, we contributed $250 million to Africa's GDP, and we contributed nearly 40,000 jobs. Now, for the next 10 years, we expect that number to be $5.4 billion of Africa's GDP through basketball, as well as almost 650,000 jobs. So that is the momentum we're seeing, number one. Number two, we are developing basketball. But beyond basketball, we're building a value system. We're building a whole value chain. We are building talent. If you come from Kenya, you know Madina Okot, a young woman who was number 13 in the WNBA draft just the other day. We are building talent, but we are building infrastructure with partners such as Helios and such as IFC. We are also building jobs in media, technology, among others. So we are really building an ecosystem and the whole value chain. The last point I'll say is we're here for the long term. NBA is in the African continent for the long term. And now we're about to change to your second question from an open league of the BAL, the Basketball Africa League, to a semi-closed league where you can own a franchise in the BAL in perpetuity. We are selling franchises and teams can be owned by individuals in perpetuity, and that's the future that we're seeing. The last thing I'll say, and I want your attention for this. Remember the date, 22nd to 31st of May. We will be having finals and playoffs of BAL in Kigali. Book your ticket and come and enjoy some wonderful basketball and build that ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll be sending in my passports. Thank you very much. So can we say that Africa is the basketball's new home? We very often talk about football, but basketball is here to stay as well.
Basketball is a fast-growing sport on the continent, and basketball's key selling point is beyond sport, it's culture, it's entertainment, it's youthful. So please come and be youthful with us.
Okay, we'll be in Kigali. Thank you very much, Claire. Olivier, let me turn to you now. Because you have seen sport, I want to say, shift from just a cultural pastime to a major investment driver. So tell us a little bit more about GL events and how you are moving from just hosting events to really creating long-lasting impact for the communities.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really a real pleasure to be here with you today to speak about sport in Africa and about what sport can bring for far beyond competition itself. In France, we believe that sport is much more than performance or entertainment. Sport can be a powerful driver of economic growth, jobs, education, tourism, health, inclusion, and international attractiveness. Over the years, we developed what we call a strong sport economic ecosystem, a partnership between public institutions, private companies, and working together with one common ambition, turning sport in a long-term force for development. This ecosystem brings together many areas of expertise, event organization, logistic infrastructures, communication, hospitality, and sustainability. But what makes this model special is the way we work. We work as a team front for sport. Government, local authorities, and private companies collaborate very early to prepare major events sporting, combining expertise and creating solutions together. The objective is not only to organize successful competition. The objective is also to create economic value, jobs, stronger cities, better infrastructures, and social benefits for local communities. On one side, sport as an economic engine. On the other side, sport as a common goal, promoting health, inclusion, education, and social connection. And we also believe that major sporting events must leave a positive legacy long after the final whistle for people, cities, and future generations. At GL Events, this idea of legacy is central to the way we work, especially in Africa. In South Africa, During the FIFA World Cup in 2010, we worked closely with local partners. Then this cooperation became so strong that we later invested in our local partner company, and today, more than 15 years later, we are still active in the country and bought the exhibition center. We have also contributed to several Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, including recently in Ivory Coast, where we delivered infrastructures for the Afghan village. We are in Africa for a long term, and in Abidjan now, we are managing the exhibition center.
Thank you so much, Olivier. Olivier, GINON, Clare, AKAMANZI, and Faris, AYOUB. A big round of applause, please, for our experts here who came and shared so much today. And I'm waiting for that ticket, Claire. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, major events also need connection to become truly memorable. And they need fans, they need communities and shared experiences. And this is precisely where digital power meets the pitch. So to discuss the intersection between tech, sport and social impact, let's all join our hands to welcome the CEO of Orange, Christel Heydemann, please. A big round of applause for Christel.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Christel.
So I'm really humbled talking after them here. At Orange, we are really convinced that sports create emotions, and emotions is super important to do business. And we've been sponsor and technological partner of the African Football Confederation for many years now. And we continue, and we've been a technology partner of the Paris 2024 Olympics, and we now really look forward to Senegal with the Youth Olympic Games starting in November. Because yes, technology can do miracles, and emotions can be lived by billions of people during sports events. We love to sponsor teams. Football is a great sport, and we are actually sponsoring national teams, which puts the CEO of Orange in a very difficult situation when you know that France is going to play against Senegal during the next Football World Cup, and we sponsor both teams. So I cannot choose. Despite the fact I'm French, I will not choose. The winner will be the best team. But again, very pleased to be here. Our teams in Orange are really passionate about sport. We love to run in the company because doing business is also about, you need mental health. And this is something we also do with sports association, because youth, when we think about connectivity, we are sponsoring what we call Digital for Good connections. And we train, working with sport association, what it's like for youth to really get educated on how to use mobile phones, not being addicted to it, but using it for the good, but also understanding what we should prevent as behaviors. That's what we call For Good Connections. So very excited to be here. It's about business, it's about emotions. In the end, it's about connections. Thank you
Absolutely. All. Thank you so much, Christel. It's about emotions, absolutely. If there's something that sports really give us, it's strong, memorable emotions. Thank you so much. For my part, I'm a Blue Shark fan, being from Cabo Verde. All right, so we have a little surprise for you now. Can we all pay attention to that side of the room, please? So, ladies and gentlemen, be ready to meet Louis Saha, French international football player, a legend of football.
Yes, I was saying that it's extremely a privilege to be here after such a career on the football field. It's always difficult to transit because it's like a little death. So it's all about getting the right connection, the right people around. So that's why I built Axis Stars in a way to really support the transition, to really support the connection between players. They have good story to share, a lot of insight, but it's in an environment it's extremely toxic. So it does provide difficulty for trust, and this is a very big problem.
Exactly, because I was going to say, you are really the embodiment of everything that's beautiful about sports and the chances that it opens, but it's very fragile, like you were saying. And so for all the young people watching us today, what advice can you give them to make sure that they don't it's
extremely difficult path. There is like a lot of elements. You will meet a lot of people, so you have to be, I think, in some way, your CEO of your own company, of your own brand, making sure that you understand that it's not only about talents. You have to really work hard and dedicate yourself to the daily pain of this sport. This is the main target. If you have the chance to be on that field, you have to represent not only the badge of your club, but you represent your name of your family. This is extremely important to have values, and this lasts longer. It is more impact, and that's basically why I think after my career, I still have, let's say, opportunities to be there, to travel the world with Manchester United, because they consider me as an ambassador, because I think that I value extremely hard what I work for, and reputation is extremely important, and I think the transition to transmit to people, to young generation, is extremely important. That's why I'm here, and I'm very appreciative to be here with a lot of good brains, investors, entrepreneurs, and decision makers.
That's a good point, actually, because we are also here to network. So are you open to maybe having young people come and talk to you during this summit and ask you questions? Are you willing for that? I think it's a great opportunity for them.
Yes, of course. I think I travel to Africa because it's a booming economy. There is a lot of people who invent things. There are a lot of investors coming from Europe. There is a lot of, I think, opportunities there, and I'm here to meet anyone who can bring something to the sport that I love. There is not only sport, there is definitely a need of integrity. And then I think, we all need that. Africa definitely have a lot of talent, but talent is not enough. We need infrastructure. We need the desire to build things that make sense for everybody, and especially for the young generation.
Absolutely, because we need to remind everybody, and I guess people actually know, that we are the youngest continent. By 2050, 1 in 4 people on the planet will be African. They'll be young. They're so talented as well. So it is about, capturing that talent and not leaving everything to luck anymore. So the other question that I had for you was that you have transitioned from an international career in Europe, essentially, and now you're working more with Africa. What advice do you have for those returnees, like we call them?
The advice is to not being scared to explore and not being scared to take risk. I love to approach the similar things that I've done in the sport, where I played striker, so I had to take risk to score goals. That was extremely important. So that's why that's my advice. It's to come and to not be scared to approach people. It could be different industries, it could be a different background. It doesn't matter. It's just about chasing the next idea, the next opportunity. There is investment all over the place, and I think you need to sometimes obviously have the right people around you to make the right choices.
Thank you so much, Louis, Saha. But next time I want to see you doing dribbles, yeah? Thank you. A big round of applause, please, for Louis Saha. Merci beaucoup. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you now to turn your attention to the screens, because we have a very important message from FIFA.
President William Ruto, President Diomaye Faye, President Emmanuel Macron, FIFA Vice President and CAF President, my dear Patrice Motsepe, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear friends. You know how close Africa is to my heart and how important your beautiful continent is to FIFA and the game of football. African players and teams have contributed to so many incredible moments of the history of our beautiful game, and we love it so much because of African players, and I'm looking forward to seeing more and more African countries than ever represented at the FIFA World Cup now in 2026, in just 1 month's time from now, because Africa will have a total of 10 representatives at the World Cup. The opening of FIFA's Africa office in Rabat in Morocco last year added a major hub to our existing network of FIFA offices and underlines as well our commitment to ever closer ties with you all. Those ties are already strong, and I'm proud of FIFA's track record in supporting African football in the 10 years since I became FIFA president. Through the FIFA Forward program, more than $1 billion American have been invested in growing football across the continent's 54 FIFA member associations to date, and that support will remain very strong. The FIFA Football for Schools program is giving young Africans the opportunity to play football and to learn from it, becoming better citizens as they become better footballers. And the FIFA Talent Development Scheme now means the most gifted girls and the most gifted boys among them have a pathway to the professional game, adding even more impetus to the boost we have seen in recent years, particularly in relation to the rapid growth of the women's game across all Africa. FIFA is also delivering on the commitment made during the International Summit on Sport for Sustainable Development in Paris back in 2024. We pledged to build 1,000 mini pitches globally by 2031. And in that respect, we launched the FIFA Arena project in May 2025. We expect that we will have passed a quarter of that target in the coming month, and this includes the construction or implementation of more than 100 mini pitches in Africa only, with, of course, many, many more to follow. The Agence Française de Développement has contributed to this effort, and together we are currently installing 30 mini pitches across Benin, Comoros and Rwanda. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Director General Rémi Rio and everyone at the AFD for their continued close collaboration with us in FIFA. We have been working together since 2019, and the renewal of our Memorandum of Understanding in May 2024 is a clear evidence of our mutual determination and shared passion to harness the unique power of football to bring smiles and improve lives for millions. I know you all share that determination and those goals, and I look forward to working together to support the continued growth of football and its positive impact across Africa. Thank you all, and enjoy the summit, the beautiful city of Nairobi, and the stunning country of Kenya. See you all very soon. Bye-bye.
L'Afrique accueille, Dakar célèbre. En cette année 2026, le Sénégal organise les Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse, accédant ainsi de fort belle manière à la cour des plus grands et prouvant avec force que l'Afrique est la terre des possibles. Dakar 2026 se veut la célébration autant que la reconnaissance d'une jeunesse aux couleurs du monde. Faisons ensemble de ces Jeux un souvenir impérissable. Dakar vous attend.
L'Afrique, berceau de l'humanité, terre de croyance et de résilience, est prête à marquer l'histoire du sport. Autour des Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse, le Sénégal est uni pour le sport et pour l'avenir. 14 jours de compétition où le monde entier va vibrer. 2700 athlètes des 4 coins du globe vont s'affronter, et toujours avec respect et humilité. semble perdu, l'espoir lui demeure. L'Afrique va briller et parer d'or celles et ceux qui vont se démarquer. Toutes et tous, nous allons être fiers de ces jeunes athlètes. Foulant le sol sénégalais, défendant les couleurs de leur pays. 25 sports de compétition. 10 sports d'engagement et de nombreuses festivités culturelles. Dakar, Diamniadio et Sali sont prêtes à vous accueillir pour honorer la relève. La jeunesse va vous faire rêver. Et si elle fléchit, le Sénégal, l'Afrique et le monde vont la soutenir. Du 31 octobre au 13 novembre 2026, l'Afrique accueille, Dakar célèbre. Maintenant, c'est à toi de jouer.
So right now, to help bridge the gap between dreams and investment, let's all welcome Mr. Makhtar Diop, Executive Vice President of the World Bank Group. Round of applause, please, for Mr. Diop.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président, Abari, Mr. Sana, Asante Sana, Mr. President. It's a huge pleasure to be back in Kenya. For some of you who don't know, I lived in Kenya for 3 years. Made a lot of friends, and I consider it as a place which is central to the development of the continent. Let me say a few words a bit, Mr. President, because sports means a lot to me. In my youth, I had the opportunity, Mr. President, excusez-moi de ne pas parler en français. Si vous permettez, je m'adresse à l'Assemblée en français. I had the opportunity in my youth to represent the national team of my own countries. So I learned what sports means. And at that time, you know, you will sleep in the camps in very bad conditions before going to competitions. In not the time of now that President Motsepe is helping athletes to get. But it brings to me the fact that sport is very important. And when 10 years ago we started looking at it, I called my friend Rémi Rioux from AFD, and we decided to do something together on sports in the world and in Africa. We launched a certain number of initiatives. We could not finance teams. We could not finance other part of the sports. But we knew that we can do something is finance infrastructure. Because when you don't have infrastructure for sports, kids cannot go to sports. So we decided to finance people who are financing arenas. So we put with Helios Sports a fund, and Proparco and IFC funded this Helios fund. And today they're deploying this resource to invest in infrastructure in Africa. Then we looked at another company, Suma, who is in a Turkish company, and we give them a loan also to finance large arena in Africa. And today, Mr. President, I know that you have been working with that company, Zaria. We are financing them, and we'll be signing very soon a loan to that company to finance infrastructure. That says that there is an interest in sports, and we need to harness more resources and bring them to finance sports. Botswana has shown that their champion in track and field are today enlightening the world, and we can do more by bringing it to the youth. Mr. President, thank you for the support that France is bringing to the Youth Olympic. AFD has financed a lot of refurbishing of infrastructure in Africa, and it's very well received. Moving forward, what we would like to do, Mr. President, is to continue to finance those infrastructure in sports, small, medium, and large infrastructures. Secondly, we would like also to have a push on education and sports. When I was growing, the sports, what they call in French, USU, was very important. Today, when you look at the countries, the sports at school is very, very weak. And we need to do more to give opportunity to people to use sports to grow. The third element, Mr. President, is to use skills. When you take kids in what they use in school in my country, Mr. President, les associations sportives et culturelles, les ASC, and you allow kids to learn skills while doing sports, you are reaching a lot of goals. So this is the kind of things that the World Bank Group and the IFCs that we're trying to do to support the ecosystem of sports. And we are giving to the city today a lot of opportunities of interest of investors. And we found that this forum and the role that France has played in that context has been critical in developing sports in the continent and also part of the world. We are working also with UNHCR and the IOC to be able to bring sport to the displaced people because it's an important way for them to be able to be reinserted in the society. I will not say more than that, but I would like to thank you for giving me that opportunity to say these few words because we've been able to put $50 million in Helios. We are financing Suma, we are financing Zaria, and this is just the beginning, and we continue doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Makhtar Diop. Thank you for your flexibility. And indeed, what you shared was extremely important, so thank you once again. Well, we've been talking about the power of sports. If there's something that sports create, is connections, of course, and emotion. And if there is one language, I want to say almost love language, that speaks to the heart of many Africans, and I hope that Claire from NBA Africa won't hate me for that, it's football. So please do take a look, pay attention to the screens.
See the power of football to bring Africans together. The power of football to show the rest of the world that African football is in motion. African football is growing. And we are honored and privileged to be part of that revolution.
Champions of Africa again.
The pathway to $1 billion in African football. The requirements of African football can only be achieved when all of us work together. Our brother, President Ruto, thank you so much for hosting this very special occasion. Mon frère, President Macron, merci, good to see you. President Faye, bonjour. We are talking another language now that's very close to Swahili. Just a few points. We've always known that African football players are amongst the most talented in the world. They've played in the best leagues in France, in Europe, and have performed amongst the very best. But you know, we as a family got involved in football essentially through philanthropy. We've invested hundreds of billions of our own money as part of giving to the continent, the continent that has made us what we are. What is very exciting is that the partnership, and that's why your presence, President Macron, is so important, because it's not just about sports. We meet in Davos every year, and there are billions and billions of dollars of partnership between France and Africa. Your country has got some of the most outstanding business companies in the world, and that's why to partner with President Ruto, to partner with Africa in business, in trade and investment, enormously important. But let's talk about football. 2.5 billion people watched the AFCON in Morocco. 6.2 billion digital views, which means billions of people worldwide were interacting and viewing what was going on in Morocco. 180 countries throughout the world were watching the AFCON in Morocco. The Moroccan economy benefited approximately $2 billion, according to Nielsen. Nielsen is one of the top research and marketing companies in the world. They are used by UEFA, they are used by FIFA. We asked them to make a study. They found that the economy of Morocco benefits to the value of 2 billion for the month during the AFCON. Next year, President Ruto will be hosting the world. He will be hosting the world, and we are going to host in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Uganda, the most successful AFCON in the history of this competition. We expect that the enormous contribution of business, of sports, of football, to job creation, to provision of skills and expertise, but also to pride and bringing people together. We will all be here, and President Macron will be here. I'll see President Macron in America when France plays Senegal. And there's going to be, and my brother is sitting there, and, you know, we are all brothers. So I remember in Qatar, President Faye, when Morocco made us very, very proud. Qualified for the semi-finals for the first time in the history of the competition. But we lost to France. And I was told, President Macron, that I shouldn't be so miserable because there are so many beautiful French Africans. French Africans. They are French, but they are from Africa. So they say it's the most beautiful partnership in sports as well as what we can do in trade and investment. Just one final issue. Football unites people. We have used football to bring people together from different races, from different religious backgrounds, as well as from different ethnic and tribal backgrounds.
I know, right? It's scary. We've got big red numbers.
Okay, so
just a
all
few
I'm
seconds.
saying is that as I'm going to sit down, President Ruto, I'm told that when the cup comes next year, June, here, the Pamoja Cup, the AFCON Cup, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya have said the trophy will not leave Pamoja. So wish you all of the best. You all make us proud. Every single president from Botswana, president from Senegal. You are a dependable partner, President Macron, trustworthy partner, and President Ruto. Thank you so much. The future looks bright. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Dr. Motsepe. You actually put my language skill to shame. Merci beaucoup de votre contribution. Well, distinguished guests, excellencies, we've come to the final whistle, I want to say, of our journey today. Let's please all rise, put our hands together to welcome on stage our excellencies here today, please. A big round of applause for our presidents. Please come and join me on the stage. His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. His Excellency Bassirou Diomaye Diakhar Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. And His Excellency Duma Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana. Thank you all. Thank you all. You may sit, please. And I really want us to take just a few seconds to realize what's happening on the stage. We have not one, not two, but 4 heads of state here on the stage, pledging to make sports and football a real engine for the development of our beautiful continent. So allow me to start with you, Excellence Président Faye. Permettez-moi de me tourner vers vous à présent. And to everyone in the audience, the next question and segment will be in French, please. Donc, dans quelques mois, on l'a vu notamment sur nos écrans, eh bien, les regards du monde entier se tourneront vers Dakar pour les Jeux Olympiques de la jeunesse. Le premier événement olympique jamais organisé, il faut le rappeler, sur le sol africain. Alors, on a vu dans cette vidéo que le Sénégal se prépare, et il se prépare bien, mais j'aimerais l'entendre directement de vous, s'il vous plaît. Qu'est-ce que cela signifie pour tout jeune Africain, pas seulement pour un jeune Sénégalais, mais pour tous nos jeunes frères et sœurs qui sont à travers le monde et qui voient donc les anneaux olympiques qui vont se hisser au-dessus de Dakar. Et au-delà de l'événement, qu'est-ce qui restera? Quel héritage durable êtes-vous en train de construire?
Merci beaucoup, madame. Je voudrais d'abord remercier le président Ruto pour son accueil et son hospitalité envers moi-même et ma délégation depuis notre arrivée. Le féliciter et féliciter le président Macron pour avoir initié ce panel autour du sport et du développement. Vous l'avez relevé, l'année 2026 a été pour le Sénégal une année spéciale. Nous l'avons quand même démarré avec un titre de champion d'Afrique. Que nous entendons. Merci beaucoup. Merci pour ce verdict qui est déjà rendu. Alors nous reviendrons ici l'année prochaine pour défendre notre titre qui restera intègre. Alors, je dis que c'est une année spéciale pour nous, parce que c'est l'année de la deuxième étoile du Sénégal en football. C'est une année aussi au cours de laquelle nous avons fait des performances sportives majeures dans beaucoup de disciplines. Et cela, il faut le noter, est le fruit d'une politique sportive hardie et qui prend en compte toutes les dimensions du sport, au niveau scolaire, au niveau universitaire, au niveau professionnel, au niveau amateur, pour les compétitions nationales comme pour les compétitions internationales. C'est une année aussi au cours de laquelle nous aurons l'honneur et le privilège d'accueillir les Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse. C'est une première sur le continent africain et le Sénégal sera honoré d'être le premier pays à abriter une compétition d'une telle envergure. Bien évidemment, nous mesurons l'espoir qui pèse sur le Sénégal en tant que pays africain qui doit organiser un événement majeur de cette dimension, mais qui doit aussi l'accueillir. Dans notre démarche, nous disons que c'est l'Afrique qui accueille, mais c'est Dakar qui célèbre. Alors cette compétition, nous la voulons comme un cadre de partage des valeurs de l'olympisme qui sont faites autour de la fraternité, de la tolérance et de la paix. Et c'est ce que nous voulons partager au-delà de l'aspect sportif avec le monde. Évidemment, en termes d'impact, la compétition n'est pas encore arrivée, mais les investissements en matière de rénovation d'infrastructures sportives, de construction, et surtout par rapport à l'option que nous avons prise de les décentraliser au niveau des communes pour démocratiser la pratique sportive, va contribuer déjà à socialiser davantage, à renforcer la cohésion sociale et à permettre à ce que chacun puisse pratiquer le sport qu'il veut, où qu'il soit, à l'intérieur du pays. Donc sur le plan des impacts, nous pouvons déjà noter ça. Et aujourd'hui, les chantiers qui sont en train d'être menés, quand on prend les ouvriers et on prend ceux qui ont en charge l'encadrement, c'est près de 132 000 personnes qui sont déjà mobilisées. Et sur l'héritage, donc, on aura un héritage infrastructurel, mais aussi un héritage par rapport à un savoir-faire qui sera acquis en collaboration avec l'ensemble des partenariats que nous avons noués autour de l'organisation de cet événement. Et j'en profite pour remercier le président Macron pour leur parfaite collaboration dans l'organisation des JOJ sur le volet sécuritaire et sur d'autres plans. Alors, nous appelons toutes les populations africaines, particulièrement les jeunes et les femmes, à venir accueillir cet événement africain, le célébrer à Dakar. Et j'en profite aussi pour inviter tout le monde à cette fête sportive africaine, mais aussi mondiale, et réaffirmer notre engagement à abriter le deuxième sommet, après celui de Paris en 2024, le sommet sur le financement durable du sport. Et ce sera à Dakar, en prélude des JOJ 2026.
Merci beaucoup, Excellence. Jeff. Tous les yeux seront rivés vers le pays de la Teranga. Merci beaucoup de votre contribution. Allow me to speak in English now again. To turn to you, Excellency President Boko. So you've stepped into leadership at a time when the world is looking at Botswana as a hub for innovation and stability. We know that sport is a massive soft power tool. And so can you tell us how can your country use its success on the track, I want to say, to unlock new off-field opportunities as well for our youth and our communities?
Well, thank you very much. Let me begin by acknowledging His Excellency the President of Kenya and the host of the summit, recognize President Macron, co-host, recognize my good friend and brother Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. How I wish this were a relay race, because then we would deploy the blistering pace, the vitality of the Republic of Botswana, the champions. But let me thank all of my colleagues here for being here, and thank President Ruto for his hospitality and generosity since we arrived here. Africa stands at a defining moment. We recognize across our continent that sport is no longer merely a recreational activity or entertainment platform. It is a unifying force, and more importantly, it's an investment opportunity that can unlock employment, tourism, infrastructure, development, youth empowerment, and regional integration. We've seen in Botswana fairly recently, a few days ago, you saw one of the most awesome spectacles of athletics leading to breaking records, personal bests, championship record times. All these took place in Botswana. You also saw, for the first time and in the most amazing fashion, that Botswana, the world's largest producer of diamonds by value, introduced something spectacularly different and embedded in the medals that were given to the successful athletes, the natural diamond. We made a statement with that. We signaled to the world, firstly, that the natural diamond carries stories, carries epic memories. It's about lives and livelihoods of real people. That infrastructure has been developed from this resource and will continue to be developed. And so sport has helped us to make plain to the world the spectacular achievements that can be made through sport and through proper utilization of the mineral wealth of any and every country. We are grateful that we are here today. We look forward to creating partnerships. We have President Motsepe here, who knows and who saw that towards the end of the contest that we held in Botswana, there were two vicious competitors, brothers towards Botswana and South Africa, and they pushed each other hard, as we always do in sport. We support each other, we collaborate with each other, we challenge each other, we push each other hard to achieve the highest standards of excellence in the different sporting codes. And we saw that between Botswana and South Africa. They deployed their very best. They came ready to compete. They competed, and they did admirably. So we are grateful for all these, and we look forward to more, and we say to all of you, if you want world records to be broken, you want to feel the vibe, the funk of sport and the unity that it brings, make sure most of your activities are held in Botswana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Is this an invitation to Botswana? Okay, it's well noted. Yeah, so we're going to we're going to Kigali, and now we're going to Botswana as well. Thank you so much. Excellence, Président Macron. Permettez-moi de me tourner vers vous à présent, parce que vous avez fait du sport un des piliers du renouvellement entre l'Afrique et la France. Alors aujourd'hui, nous voyons cette ambition se concrétiser à travers la mobilisation croissante du secteur privé. Quel message souhaitez-vous envoyer à l'ensemble des acteurs réunis aujourd'hui?
Merci beaucoup. Merci. Je veux remercier à nouveau le président William Ruto pour son accueil et mes chers amis et collègues, présidents du Sénégal et du Botswana, d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. Et merci, Makhtar et Patrice, pour vos présentations à l'instant. Mais vous l'avez parfaitement dit, d'abord, on est au bon moment, au bon endroit. Et c'est important de se le dire. Le Kenya est un grand pays de sport. Je crois que... C'est vrai. Kipchoge et Saha... C'est quand même le pays où on court le marathon en moins de 2 heures. C'est une bonne référence. Et grand pays donc à la fois de marathon, de courses d'endurance, mais aussi de football, de rugby à 7. Et le continent africain est un grand continent de sport. Et je crois que ça vient d'être rappelé, mais il faut avoir quand même à l'esprit que 2026, les Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse au Sénégal, 2028, la CAN, donc dans cette région Kenya, Tanzanie, Ouganda, ça a été rappelé. Et 2030, la Coupe du Monde en Méditerranée, avec le Maroc qui sera partie prenante. Il n'y a pas un continent qui est autant exposé à des grands événements sportifs que le continent africain dans les années à venir, et qui a d'ores et déjà autant d'athlètes, et ça a été dit, Patrice et Makhtar l'ont rappelé tout à l'heure aussi, quand on parle des grands champions souvent européens, on parle de grands champions qui ont des racines, des origines qui sont partagées entre le continent africain et la France. Quand on parle des footballeurs, c'est extraordinaire, c'est une chance. Et on a même parfois exporté nos sélectionneurs sur le continent africain. Claude est là avec moi dans ce déplacement. Il a fait rêver pas mal de générations et le président tout à l'heure l'a honoré. Donc, moi ce que je veux dire, pourquoi c'est très important ce qu'on fait là? D'abord, ça a été rappelé, c'est une question d'éducation. Partout où on aide à développer le sport, au-delà des grandes compétitions, et c'est pour ça que nos Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse au Sénégal sont si importants, on donne de la capacité d'émancipation et d'éducation à nos jeunes. On l'a mis au cœur de notre stratégie en France, mais c'est ce qu'on veut pour le continent africain. Parce qu'on apprend à des jeunes les règles, la discipline d'un sport, on leur apprend à être ensemble, on leur donne de la confiance en eux, parce qu'on leur permet justement d'exploiter des talents. Un jeune qui est super bon en marathon ou en course, c'est des talents qui vont être reconnus. Il n'a pas forcément les mêmes talents sur le plan académique, mais ça élargit justement les choses, ça permet de reconnaître ses capacités, et nos universités après le reconnaissent. Et ça permet d'attirer beaucoup de jeunes qui s'écartaient de l'école vers l'école, puis des emplois. Et enfin, c'est un formidable levier en matière de santé. Il y aura une table ronde aussi en matière de santé demain au niveau des leaders. C'est-à-dire c'est la meilleure politique de prévention, le sport. Et aujourd'hui, un des fléaux, plutôt dans les pays les plus riches, qui rôdent, mais c'est vrai aussi dans plusieurs pays africains en raison des modalités de nutrition, un des fléaux pour nos ados et nos jeunes adultes, c'est l'obésité. La meilleure prévention, ce n'est pas l'industrie pharmaceutique qui la donne, c'est le sport. Donc première chose, sport et jeunesse. Et c'est une politique d'investissement dont les retombées positives pour nos pays, nos sociétés sont énormes. La deuxième chose, c'est une politique d'infrastructure. Et ça a été très bien rappelé, c'est que si on veut développer le sport, au-delà de tout ce qui a été dit, il faut des infrastructures et donc c'est une politique de développement. On était ce matin, on parlait d'intelligence artificielle. Hier, on était avec le président, on parlait d'énergie, de transport. Le sport, pareil, c'est un domaine d'investissement en termes d'infrastructure. On ne peut pas réussir en sport, Makhtar l'a rappelé, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de basket, même de basket à 3, s'il n'y a pas un minimum de pistes d'athlétisme, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de foot, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de rugby. Et donc, c'est un formidable levier d'investissement pour le continent africain et ses partenaires Parce qu'il y a besoin de ces investissements-là et de le faire avec les grandes fédérations. Et donc, en effet, on a lancé, Makhtar a appelé il y a quelques années avec l'Agence française de développement, l'AFD, une grande politique d'investissement sportif. On a eu plus de 400 projets qui ont été développés par l'AFD dans 50 pays. On a notre nouveau patron de l'AFD qui est là à nos côtés, monsieur le courtier, et on le remercie. Et je veux rendre hommage aussi à son prédécesseur, Rémi Rioux, qui a porté cette politique pendant les 8 dernières années avec beaucoup de force, qu'il a fait avec Makhtar et ses équipes et donc la Banque mondiale, et qu'il a fait aussi avec les grandes fédérations internationales. C'était assez innovant, et je me rappelle, il y a 8 ans, un peu après Ouagadougou, on s'est retrouvés à l'Élysée avec la FIFA, avec la NBA, avec la FIBA, les grandes fédérations, surtout basket, foot, mais on avait aussi athlé, la NBA, et on a lancé ce programme. Et de Kigali à Libreville, à travers tout le continent, on a créé ces terrains. Et donc on a investi des centaines de millions d'euros dans ces infrastructures et ces programmes. On l'a fait avec le groupe Orange, Sonatel, Heliosport, Win-Win Afrique, etc., etc. Beaucoup de groupes, plus ceux que Makhtar a rappelés, qui nous ont permis de développer tout ça et qu'on a accroché avec la formation justement de nos jeunes. Et on a pu engager beaucoup de jeunes dans ces programmes de formation par les infrastructures qui ont été construites à travers le continent. Et j'ai été très fier il y a quelques années d'être à Kigali pour la première compétition en lien avec la NBA de basket et de compétition de basket entre clubs. C'était un formidable moment là aussi d'émergence du sport sur le continent africain. Et évidemment, ce que fait la CAN, ce que fait la FIFA avec vous, est un formidable levier de développement. Donc, politique de jeunesse, politique d'infrastructure. Et puis, moi, je voudrais finir en disant, c'est un formidable levier de croissance et de création de richesse pour le continent. Et ça, c'est encore quelque chose qui est à saisir. Parce que quand on regarde ce que représente le sport et toutes les filières qui ont avec le sport, le marché mondial du sport, c'est 2% du PIB mondial. Quand on regarde sur le continent africain, c'est 0,5% de son PIB. Ça veut dire une chose très simple, qu'on connaît dans beaucoup de filières, on l'a évoqué ce matin, l'économie du sport n'est pas assez structurée sur le continent africain, elle est souvent encore trop informelle, premier problème, qu'on a dans plein de domaines, et souvent aussi, vous avez la matière première, mais elle est valorisée dans d'autres continents. Et pardon de faire un peu ce parallèle, mais vous avez parmi les plus beaux, les meilleurs sportifs du monde, comme vous avez les plus grandes terres rares et minerais critiques, et ils sont pris dans d'autres championnats, dans d'autres compétitions. C'est pas bon pour le continent africain. Et donc, ce que vous devez faire, ce que vous allez faire, ce qu'on veut faire avec vous, c'est de valoriser ce capital humain pour qu'il devienne de l'informel au formel, et pour que ce capital humain qui est sur le sol africain soit pleinement révélé et se révèle dans les clubs et les équipes africaines, et n'est pas à s'exporter à l'autre bout du monde pour créer de la richesse. Et vous imaginez, si on fait croître, si on aide à croître le produit intérieur brut du continent africain, ce qu'on veut faire, ce que vous allez faire avec ces investissements conjoints, et si dans le même temps, on arrive à révéler ce que doit représenter le sport de 0,5% à 2% du PIB, c'est une vraie révolution qui est créatrice de richesse. Et là-dessus, nous, on est prêts à vous aider de manière toute particulière, d'abord par les investissements qu'on fait, qu'on veut faire, que vont faire l'AFD, nos partenaires avec nous et toutes nos entreprises, et par la structuration de cette filière sport. Il y a 10 ans, je n'étais pas président, et même 11 ans maintenant, j'étais ministre de l'économie. Et en France, on n'avait pas structuré cette filière. Et on a lancé, il y a 10 ans, on a fini, cette feuille de route de la filière sport en France. Ce qui a permis de nous améliorer et d'exporter beaucoup plus. Olivier GINON, qui est là aujourd'hui, qui était déjà patron de G11, a structuré cette filière pour nous. Il a fait ce travail avec tous les partenaires. Et en 10 ans de temps, on a créé beaucoup plus d'emplois dans notre pays. Et tous nos acteurs de la filière sport se sont exportés beaucoup mieux. Ce qu'on veut au fond faire, c'est faire un transfert d'expertise et se dire, on est prêt à vous dire comment on a fait pour vous aider à le faire. On a commencé les discussions avec le Sénégal, président, et je sais que ça a bien avancé, donc si on peut aider le Sénégal comme laboratoire, je connais mon frère William Ruto, il va me dire tout de suite si je dis avec le Sénégal, nous on veut le faire avec le Kenya, et j'ai un autre frère là, le président Boko, qui va me dire, chiche, on le fait aussi avec le Botswana. mais c'est au fond de se dire comment on vous aide à structurer ces filières pour créer beaucoup plus de richesse, de valeur, et permettre à vos sportifs d'être pleinement reconnus, de mieux gagner leur vie et de la gagner sur le continent africain. Voilà ma conviction. Donc, au fond, le sport, c'est au croisement de l'éducation, de la santé et de la croissance. Donc, il faut y aller à fond.
On y va à fond. Le message est vraiment passé, and the time is absolutely now. So, like His Excellency President Macron just said, when we invest in sport, we invest in people. When we invest in people, we invest in our future. Thank you very much. And to conclude, allow me to now turn to you, Your Excellency President Ruto, because we've mentioned it, we are really standing in the home of sports legend. Earlier today, we had Eliud Kipchoge right here on the stage. We've seen, and I live in London, we've seen what Sebastian Saha accomplished just a few days ago. But I want to say as well that your country breaks many records, notably in tech and finance. This is the home of M-Pesa as well. We've got equity, we've got KCB. They're helping millions of customers every year. So I want to ask you, Excellency, can we make sport as powerful an economic engine as tech and finance? And what is your commitment to making this transition a reality?
Thank you very much. President Macron, my good brother Boko, President of Botswana, President Faye, friends. Good afternoon, or is it good evening, and welcome to the Nairobi University. Just so that you know, Nairobi University is my alma mater. I came here first day, 14th of July 1987. I stepped in those grounds there and registered myself as a student here. I have been a student ever since. I did my undergrad here, I did my postgraduate here, I did my PhD here, and therefore this is home. So welcome home to all of you who are coming here. Secondly, I had Makhtar. He said he played for his country. Makhtar, I didn't make it to play for my country, but I was in the volleyball team of Nairobi University. So I tried. But I am greatly honored to join you for this very important dialogue on the commercialization of sports and its growing to drive economic transformation, innovation, and opportunity across our continent, not just in Kenya. Africa today is the youngest continent on earth. More than 1 billion Africans are below the age of 35. That is not simply a statistic. It is a historic opportunity. An opportunity to build one of the world's most dynamic sports economies. And I'm happy that we are discussing sports and money and economies. An opportunity to turn talent into enterprise, passion into prosperity, and potential into real power. Sports can no longer be viewed merely as a recreation or for competition purposes. Today, President Macron in the morning went for a competition with Eliud Kipchoge. He didn't.
I lost.
And by the way, I have heard Boko, and he has said correctly that if you want relay, please find your way to Botswana. And if you want good football, find your way to Senegal. But if you want real good international world-class athletics, this is the place where history is made. This is the place where the first man on earth has run marathon under 2 hours. Sebastian, we're very proud of Sebastian Saha. I mean, a man who went to school in a school, primary school called Jepchirchir Primary School. Many of you will not know where Jepchirchir is. but he has made history. Today, sports is industry. Sports is infrastructure. Sports is investment. Sports is culture, diplomacy, technology, tourism, and of course, jobs. Across the world, sports generates billions of dollars every year through broadcasting, infrastructure, manufacturing, entertainment, tourism, technology, and talent development. Africa must not stand at the margins of this global industry. Africa must stand at its center. That is why Kenya has deliberately positioned sports as a pillar in our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, because we recognize that it can unlock enterprise, livelihoods, national competitiveness, and of course, hope among us, millions of our young people. As the gateway to East and Central Africa, Kenya brings together two very unique advantages. Number one, our globally celebrated identity as the home of champions. And I say that. And our internationally recognized high-altitude training environment, which continues to attract elite athletes and institutions from around the world. If you go to my hometown in Eldoret, you will find everybody running from every part of the world, but they never beat Kenyans. This advantage is strengthened by something even more powerful: a youthful, innovative, digitally connected generation that is positioning Kenya not only as a global talent incubator, but as an emerging hub for sports media, technology, wellness, tourism, entertainment, and high-performance industries. The home of M-Pesa is right here. We were told earlier today that 1.2 billion people in this continent and abroad use mobile money transfer. Invented where? In Kenya. From our experience, Africa's future lies in building integrated sports ecosystems supported by harmonized priorities and policies, private sector participation, regional partnerships, and sustainable financing. That's why my good friend Macron here comes through as a partner. The time has come not only to produce talent, but to build African-owned sports economies that create African prosperity. Across Africa, governments are increasingly recognizing that sports infrastructure must serve purposes beyond ceremonial use. A stadium, for example, cannot remain idle 6 days a week. An arena cannot survive on applause alone once in a while. A modern sports infrastructure must function as an integrated commercial ecosystem, bringing together sports, hospitality, retail, media production, conferencing, recreation, and digital broadcasting while generating revenue, attracting investment, creating jobs, and stimulating economies. It has to be an ecosystem. In Kenya, that future is already taking shape here in East Africa. In preparations for AFCON 2027, and you've heard President Motsepe say this, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, under the Pamoja Partnership, are making transformative investments in sports infrastructure. Right here in Nairobi, we are developing the Talanta Sports City, not stadium, city, anchored by the world-class Raila Odinga Sports Stadium, alongside state-of-the-art training facilities, hospitality, infrastructure, commercial spaces, including media production centers and smart mobility systems. And aside from this, We are also upgrading 2 other stadia, Kasarani and Nyayo International Stadium, while constructing county stadia, regional academies, and high-performance training centers across the country. My good friend Motsepe came to sign off on some of our infrastructure projects that we are developing to facilitate the hosting of AFCON. And apart from these 3 I have mentioned, we are building another 27 stadia across Kenya. And when I say stadia, I'm not talking about a running track. I am talking about a whole ecosystem. One that has entertainment joints, one that has recreational facility, one that has film studio, one that has creative economy spaces, one that has a whole ecosystem, ICT hubs, G2Me labs, where young people can access digital jobs. So we are building a whole ecosystem around sports because our ambition is not simply to host tournaments. Our ambition is to build an ecosystem. We are also positioning Nairobi as one of Africa's leading creative and entertainment capitals through investment in audiovisual infrastructure, film incentives, digital monetization systems, affordable creative studios, and partnerships that cement and connect African creatives to global markets. Let me conclude this by saying we are also advancing this vision. Kenya recently signed an agreement with Zaria Group, and Ujiri came to see me on this, a household name in global basketball and sports development to develop a modern arena and entertainment district within Nairobi Railway City, just a few minutes from here. We will be putting up an arena there. And today, in this conference, Your Excellency, we will also be signing a contract with another group to deal with another arena in the Bomas of Kenya so that we can build this as a hub for entertainment in our region. This is an investment of close to $130 million to support development of modern purpose indoor arenas across our nation. Together, these initiatives are expected to strengthen Nairobi's position as a regional MICE, creative and investment hub, while creating thousands of jobs and opening new opportunities for African youth. Let me conclude this. I know we are all pressed for time. To say how we appreciate my colleagues who are here. Thank you very much for finding time to share this moment with us in Nairobi. You can count on our support, you can count on our goodwill, and we are going to continue to build spaces that will make sure that we take this forward in the coming weeks. I was very impressed to see the numbers that Motsepe said. 2.5 billion people watched AFCON in Morocco. Did you mean Morocco or Kenya? So what do you estimate Kenya to be? So we are waiting. 6.9, 6.1 billion, 4.2 billion, digital followers. So we are looking forward to that next year, right here in Nairobi, as we share the moment with our sister countries, Tanzania and Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Excellency, President Ruto, Excellency, President Boko of Botswana, President Faye of Senegal, and President Macron of France. We've heard our Excellencies loud and clear. The time is now, the place is Africa. Thank you for your vision, your commitment to harness the power of sports to build a better future for our continent. Thank you all as well in the audience. Good afternoon.